I think Milwaukee's turning a corner. Now, they just lost to the Jazz and gave up a bazillion points. That spot was not good for them. And you're like, they're 1-3 under Doc. This is where I want to get them. Like this is where I want them right here. Okay. It's when I caught them in Denver and they lost a tough game to Denver where Denver's a beast in altitude. When I saw them in Denver, they looked like a team that was like, finally, we can play actual serious professional basketball. And that's how they've been. But they faced Utah and got gassed in the altitude. And I'm not surprised that that fell apart. When their defense is going to be bad, it's going to be really bad. Phoenix has been way better. I think Phoenix is like, they are turning into the team that Jay has been on consistently month after month after month. He has been hyping. He's been like, don't overlook that. I'm telling you, the Jazz, or the Suns rather, I am still a little bit iffy on their like playoff hopes, but they are definitely a much better team. However, Milwaukee, for all of its problems, brings so much firepower to the table. I got a pretty good trend to line up with this one. So the Bucks had a huge turnover problem early in the season. It was a major problem for them, and they were getting killed in transition. They were the worst transition defense team in the league the first 3 weeks of the season. And they basically hammered and hammered and hammered getting that fixed. And then they've turned into the opposite. They are an extremely low turnover team. And when you face the Suns and you average fewer turnovers than they do, if the Suns are facing a team that averages fewer turnovers than they do, that opponent is 22, 14, and 2 ATS versus Phoenix at 61%. It's a massive difference maker for Phoenix. Their defense wants to create turnovers. Their defense needs to get into mid-transition opportunities and not play against a set defense. So catching points here, 4.5 points. I don't think it's that much. Jay, I'm going to take Milwaukee in this spot.
Well, I can't talk you off. It's a bad spot for the Bucks, but it's even a worse spot for the Suns. They're coming back off of a 7-game East Coast road trip. I hate this spot for the Suns. You know I love this team, but you probably need Dame out there, but Giannis probably goes bonkers here. They don't really have anyone that can stop Giannis here, so he's probably, even if Dame is out, it could be like the injured player theory. I do lean to the Bucks here. As much as I love the Suns, this is an absolute horrible spot. I would never back a team coming back home off a 7-game road trip, and opposite time zones as well. So this is definitely more of a phase spot for the Suns than it is last game of the Bucks on a 5-game road trip. Obviously, we know they ran out of gas in Utah. That's much more higher altitude. Jazz played more defense than the Suns as well, but I don't think you're going to see a great version of the Suns in this particular game. So I could, Dame or no Dame, I could only look towards the Milwaukee Bucks in this. But he did injure his ankle. Like Dame is actually, it's not just he just popped up on the injury report. His ankle really is. It was already hurt, and then he tweaked it again in Utah. So if he is out, don't be surprised, but that shouldn't scare you off with the Bucks here.
I will say I'm going to go ahead and wait until we get the clear injury report before the game. Uh, if Dame's out, I will wait for the other number and bet it. If Brook is out, he's questionable with personal reasons. I will probably still bet it. If they're both out, I'll probably still bet it. I do need Giannis. Giannis is probable with knee soreness, but I got to get I obviously can't bet into the Suns without Giannis. I can't do that. However, if Dame is out, it's only gonna make me like this number more. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the under here as well, 244.5. I've got projected 238. If I think that the Bucks defense is going to turn a corner at some point, and I do think it is, and I'm a very big advocate of wait for the turn. I get that. This is more about the actual profile of these teams. If I talked about those transition opportunities, the Suns are a very big transition team. And so if the Bucks are a great transition defensive team, and they actually allow very few, then this is actually a very good opportunity to get in on an under because it might be a lot slower than you think it might be. So Watts, I'm on the Bucks and the under. You got thoughts on those?
Yeah, I definitely like the under better. I think that with all the injury questions, I don't love the Bucks side. I mean, I definitely would wait and find out about those injuries, but I also have this projected pretty much exactly where the line is for the side, and I have a pretty substantial edge on the under. So, and I definitely would rather take an under in a Bucks game, a team that just got outscored 13-40 in the fourth quarter against the Jazz last game. So I definitely lean to the under of those two plays.